Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is what we're going to be making today. Baby bibs. I'll show you how to make these in another video. So I'm working with a 5mm hook. I made these with a 4.5mm hook, but I'm going to use a 5 today because I'm using 2 pieces of yarn. And I only used 1 piece of yarn with this, but I'm just using up some scrap yarn, so I'm going to put 2 together and make it chunky. So let's first start the slip knot. I'm going to chain 22. So now you're going to single crochet all the way back across your chain, starting at the second stitch. I'm all caught up on something. There we go. Last chain. There you have it, the start of our work. Alright, chain 1. Turn your work. Row 2, we're going to put 2 single crochets into the first stitch as we're increasing. And we'll put 2 single crochets in the last stitch, but everything in between is just going to be 1 single crochet into every stitch. For this, you want to use cotton or acrylic. Cotton would be better. I'm just using acrylic, and I used acrylic for the other ones too. I just feel they wash up better, and you're going to be washing this bib a lot, or using it to catch drool, or from your baby. So I'm using a black background, so I hope you can see everything okay. So in your last stitch, we're going to want to put 2 single crochets in there. Just like that. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 2 should have 23 stitches. You're going to repeat the same thing for row 3. You're going to put 2 single crochets in your starting hole and your finish hole, and then everything in between is just going to be single crochet. Sorry, my dog can be so loud. He's drinking water. I have a boxer. And he just come in from outside, and it's, you know, not a bad day. The sun is finally shining here in Canada. And he's just come in, and now he wants to play ball. And hi. Same as Harley, but I call him Poppy Pants. I don't know why I call him that. Poppy Pants. Hi, buddy. What doing? Harley's in some of my other exploring videos. He used to come exploring with me. Alright, so the last stitch, you're going to want 2 in there, if I can get 1 in there. Oh my gosh, there's a stitch there. 1, 2. Let's make sure we have enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
25. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. You can see how it's starting. You can see the difference. Excuse me, I have such a bad cold. Alright, row 4 is going to be the exact same thing. You're going to just keep adding stitches. We're going to add 2 more single crochets on the end and at the beginning, and everything in between is just going to be regular 1 stitch in each hole. And 2 in this last stitch. Oops, don't yarn over like I just did. So you should have 27 stitches in row 4. We're going to repeat this same thing for the next row. So chain 1, turn your work. This will be the last increase row. So 2 single crochets in your first stitch. 2 single crochets in the last stitch, and then single crochets 1 in each stitch across for your very last row of increases. Another good stitch for a bib would be the pebble stitch. Maybe I'll do one. I've got another grandbaby on the way, so maybe I'll do one that has a pebble stitch. So in this last one, I'm going to put 2 single crochets, and that's a total of 29 stitches across, and this is our final row for increases. So row 6 to row 15 is just going to be single crochet in each stitch across, chain 1, turn your work. You can change colors or whatever if you want to. I'm just going to continue with what I have. So I have my stitch counter with me. I'm just going to wear that on my finger like I generally do. So we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. This is row 6. So we got 9 rows to do. Starting in your first stitch, not this one, but this one. Keeps your work nice and straight. So you can work ahead of me. I'm probably going to speed this up just because of time constraints on the video. But you can work ahead of me. It's a single crochet. We're doing 9 rows, so this is row 6 to row 15 of single crochets all the way across. I will do the first couple rows just so you know how to keep your lines straight, and then I'll probably speed it up. I almost yarned over there for some reason. I forgot about this last stitch in there. You're almost kind of going in sideways. You're only putting 1 stitch in, so we're not doing any more increases. Chain 1, turn your work. Now to keep your rows straight, be sure that you're starting in the very first stitch, which is this one right here. It's not this one, it's this one. So that's how you're going to keep your ends straight. I should probably mark that. I've done 1 row. I'm on my 2nd row. We're doing 9 from this point on, so rows 6 to 15. We're on the 7th row. Starting row 3. And I'll show you what I mean by it keeps your rows straight when I get a bunch of rows. Starting row 4. Or row 10 if you're counting that way. Row 4 done. So we had to do 9 more rows. We are on the 5th row. So after this, just got 4 more to go. So you can see how we started and then we increased out, and now we've just been going straight up, and this row is nice and straight. We're putting a trim around this anyway, but same thing over here. As we increased out, and now we're going straight up. We're on row number 6. Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry my camera died. So we're working on row 6. Remember, we're going to row 9. Chain 1. Turn your work. Row 7. Last row. All right. Final row. A lot of, I'm going to undo this and show you. So this is my own design with this coming across like this to do it up this way. A lot of the vests you'll see only have the 2 straps and then you attach them like that, and I don't like that at all. So mine has the strap that comes across, and I've got 2 holes so you can adjust, make an adjustment with your button. So that's the first hole, and then when the baby gets bigger you can go into the other hole just like that. Here I changed color partway up, but you know, as nice as this looks, this one I'm doing today, I think I won't change colors. So this is where we're at, is the color change right here. If you guys wanted to change color to match your outside, then you can do so. I'm just going to do mine all in this color and then outline it in this color. So that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at right now. So from this row, do your color change, and this is row 16. So from row 16 to row 30, you're going to do the exact same thing that you've been doing, but you're going to do it in the different color. If you're changing colors, I'm not changing colors. So I'm just going to put that counter at 16, and I'm just going to keep going with my single crochet across, chain 1, turn my work till I get to row 30. Alright guys, we're back, and I've got the 30 rows done. I can take this off now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. Now keep in mind, mine probably looks a lot bigger than yours because I'm using 2 pieces of thread and a 5mm hook. But if you want it smaller, you can use a 4 hook. 4.5 hook is what I used for these. I used a 4.5 hook and then just regular one thread yarn. You know, 3.5 4.5 ounce skein. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna count, just making sure I'm gonna use these for stitch markers. So we're going to be making this part now. So I'm going to count over 6 stitches from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to mark that. My stitch markers are in the mail. And you want to do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just mark that. And we're going to start on this side first. So I've chained 1 already, and I've turned my work. So I don't technically need that one there. So I'm going to single crochet 6 across. I usually really only need a marker for this side, but I was just trying to show you how to use the markers. So single crochet 6. And 6. That is going to be our first strap. So at this point, we're going to forget about this side, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. And we're going to single crochet all along. Put my marker back on. We're going to single crochet all along for the next 30 rows. So we've already done row 1. Let me just reset this. We've done row 1. So this is going to be row 2. And to keep things straight, I don't know if you've noticed how straight your work is, because you're starting in that very first stitch. Your work is pretty straight up and down. So again, you're going to work in that very first stitch. A lot of people miss it and they go into this one because this one can be difficult. But if you just hold your yarn, it's not that bad. You will have very, very straight work if you do that. That's 1, Doing all the stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. And do that for the next 30 rows. So if you don't have a stitch mark or a row counter yet, like I do, you can find them on Amazon. You get actually a bunch of them. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I got like 8 of them for 10 bucks. Canadian dollars. And they do have an LED light. I don't crochet at night, so I don't know why that's there, but it is. Hi guys, so I'm on row 15, so halfway there. My dog picks the most inopportune time to decide to guzzle his water. Oh, I forgot to hit my thing. Goes fairly quickly. So just remember, if you're not getting a straight line, if it seems to be meandering, it's because you're not putting your stitch in that very first hole. And so, I mean, it's easily fixable. You just got to remember. Or if it's meandering this way, then you've missed this last hole, which is easily done. The last hole. Always got to remember to do that last hole more loosely, because it seems to get tight. I don't know why. I don't know if that's everybody or that's just me. 4 more rows. Okay, so this is where you're going to chain 1. Did I chain 1 already? Yeah. Sorry, I already chained 1. I'm going to cut it off. Pull through. Hold tight. And that's one of your straps. So now we're going to come back to the other side. Okay. Now we're going to start a whole fresh end. Just wrap your yarn around there. Stick your hook through the stitch. Wrap your yarn around it. Pull through. Grab your lead and pull through. And that's how you start. And I'm going to try to crochet the 6 at least with my tail on the other side, just to hide it. Anyway, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So do the same thing we did on the other side. Chain 1, turn your work, do 30 rows. Oops, turned my work and pulled it all out. Don't forget, go into that first hole, because you want to keep your lines straight. Oh, I should probably reset my thing. Oh, I'm on row 2. One more row. Sorry, I was really trying not to cough. Whoops. All right. So now I'm going to do one row back across. I'm going to do one more row across and then down. But the one row, because I've got 30. I got 30 rows, that I'm pretty sure. I just want to match them up. Pretty even. 30 rows. So the last row I'm going to do isn't going to have stitches. Let me chain 1. I'm going to, just because I want to go over to the other side, so I'm just going to slip stitch along the whole top of it. And that's just allowing me to get back to the other side without putting any stitches in my work. There we go. So now that I'm back on to this same side, I'm going to turn my work sideways and I'm going to single crochet in the next 6 holes. There's not going to be any stitches. I'll show you. So just make sure the side you're working on faces your other end, but there's not going to be any holes. So I'm going to chain 1. So you're going to stick these in wherever I get something to point with other than my hook. So there's no stitches because it's the side of your work. But any hole you can find, you're going to stick your hook into and put a stitch. Don't try not to go down too low. You have to do it right on the edge. But anywhere there's a hole, stick 6 single crochets. Starting with the very first one. They're pretty easy to find. and 6. Chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to do 24 rows, is that right? We'll see. We'll have to play it by ear. I have written down that I did 24 rows. It seems like a lot. Oh, I'm on row 2. Let me reset this. So I'm starting row 2. And it's the same thing we've been doing. It's just a single crochet. So that's row 8. Row 9. Four, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So that's 18 rows. So now we're going to start putting in our buttonholes. Now that we've got 18 rows. So once it gets there, we're going to start the next row is going to be our buttonhole row. So single crochet in the first 2, sorry. Then you're going to chain 2 and you're going to skip 2. So if you're going to do really big buttons and you need to have more room than what I'm doing, I mean you only have 6 spaces, but you need to skip 3 holes or 3 stitches, then chain 3. But we're only skipping 2, so I'm going to chain 2, I'm going to skip 2, and then I'm going to go right in to this stitch and I'm going to do a normal single crochet and single crochet, chain 1, turn your work, single crochet, first 2. Then we're not going to go into the chains. We're going to go right into the hole itself, and we're going to single crochet 2 into that hole because we've skipped 2. If you've skipped 3, then do 3 in that hole, and then single crochet normally in the chains in the next 2. One row of just normal 6 single crochet all the way across. So that's one buttonhole done. 2 regular rows in between and another row with another buttonhole. If you want to do more than 2, you want do whatever you want. Single crochet in the first 2 stitches, chain 2, skip 2, single crochet in the next, and single crochet in the last. Chain 1 and turn your work. Single crochet in the first 2, then you're going to single crochet right into the hole 2 times, just like the last time, and then then you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches like normal. Chain 1, turn your work, and do your final row. I think it's the final row. What did I do? 2. Let's see if it's the final row. I shouldn't say that until I see. I didn't put that in my instructions, but You want it to at least oh yeah. Yeah. It'll go right to the end. You just want it to match up, right? You don't want it to look all. So you got hole number 1, hole number 2. So that's the big size. Then your other size. So that'll hang over a bit, but I mean, that's not a big deal. So let's just finish this off with the chain 1. Cut your yarn, pull through, make a knot. So before we continue, we're gonna tuck back, take this off, tuck back our ends, weave them in. Try to stay away from the ends because I am gonna finish this off with a different color all the way around the bib. So just pull it tight, pull it out. Don't worry about that because we're gonna hide that with what we're doing. I've got these ends down here. I get a smaller needle out for. These needles are great. You can find them on Amazon. It doesn't really matter how thick your yarn is. You've got all kinds of room to, and they're sharp, like they're pokey. So they do weave in really, really well. I'm just gonna weave this one across this way. Stretch your work out. Oops. And one more is our end one. Okay, so before we put our button on, I'm going to use this color. I'm going to use the same size needle. Anyway, find a spot to start. I'm just going to start mine down at the bottom. Wrap my yarn around and I'm going to pull through. And then I'm just going to make a knot with both tail and lead. And I'm just going to single crochet anywhere that I can stick my hook into. So when you come to any sort of corner or crook, I like to put 3 in, even though this technically isn't a corner or a crook. It's an angle. I like to just put 3 in. It's aesthetically pleasing. There's a hole there. You know there is. Well, I'm just going to go in the same hole there because that's a tough one. It's not perfect business, but it, I gotta put 3 in there too. Some of these got some tight holes. But it does clean it up, you know. And it's different. I'm just going to keep going around, sticking my hook wherever it'll go. And every corner and every crook, put in 3. Kind of strengthens your corners too, I suppose. Put a couple on this one. To put 3 in here for your corner. And this one's easy, it's got stitches. Now if you did like me and you used 2 pieces of yarn to do this with, doing your trim with just 1 piece of yarn is fine, but if you want to do with 2 pieces of yarn, you can do that too. I think it looks fine with 1 piece, but so you got another corner here. Oh, what am I yarning over for? I'm gonna put, if I can get my hook in there, I'm gonna put 3. Oops, no, I'm not. I'm gonna put 3 in this corner as well. And put 2 in there just because I've got that stupid knot. Well, it's not a knot, but it's a stitch. Bulky stitches. I can't get into. Coming up to another corner. So in this hole I'm going to put 3 single crochets. It just makes it look much better. So finish that all the way around, putting 3 in your corners and on your ends in each corner, and I'll meet you back here. So I'm just doing down my my last side. Picking up stragglers. And we're only doing this once. Because I think once is enough, but I mean if you wanted to, now that you've got stitches there to follow, if you wanted to do a second round, you can go right ahead and do a second round. But just know that I'm not doing a second round, I'm only doing this. And that's generally why I crochet something and sew it on, you know, because I haven't done all the bells and whistles and the cutesy tootsy. No, I'm just doing the one bit of trim. So I think for this one, after I put the button on, I think I'll do, since it's a little girl's, I think I will just do some hearts. And just sew some hearts on. Alright, coming to the end. So this is a corner. I'm going to put 3 in here, and then I'm just going to slip stitch. Just anywhere, it doesn't even matter. Try to get into that chain. I just used the second chain, it was easy to get into. Chain 1, make your knot, pull tight. This is the side I hid all my stuff on, so I'm just gonna hide that piece on this side. Just weaved it along the bottom. Alright, turn it around. You got the front side. Gotta go get some buttons. I've got a whole pile of buttons. It'll go through. I'm just gonna sew it on with the same cord or the same yarn that I did my trim with. So I got a hole here and a hole here. I'm just going to tie a knot. Do buttons like you normally do buttons. My little button. Now, let's see if we can't make something. I think we should do a little heart. And I'll use the pink and the blue together. I think that'll be cute. Just a wee tiny little heart. Maybe a couple of them. Alright, so I'm using 2 pieces of yarn. You can use whatever you want. You can do red, you can do whatever color your work is. I'm just trying to to keep with the color of the... So I'm going to do slip knot. And I'm going to chain 2. And then in that first chain, I'm going to double crochet 2 times. Okay, now we're going to do 2 half double crochets. One more double crochet. Oops. And then 2 more half double crochets. Two more double crochets. Pull this a little bit. See it taking shape once you pull the tail. Then we're going to chain 2, and our slip stitch is going to be right inside the hole, and you're going to pull tight. That is our slip stitch. Pull your tail, and there you have it. Chain 1, cut your yarn, pull through, pull tight, pull your tail tight, and there you have a little heart. So let's take our heart with our strings already attached. Come on. Let's find a place to stick it. So pull that piece back. Stick your needle in. Probably right next to it ish. Leaving the space because you're gonna pull that. Turn your work over and tie this in a tight knot. You can either weave these in or just cut them off. So that's one heart. So there she is, guys, the finished piece. You can put more hearts on if you want. I'm just going to leave it at this one little heart. And you'll have to iron it, so you have to spray it with some water and iron it so it doesn't keep rolling up on you. But other than that, there you have it. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.